Hello, it's Dan here. I hope you're good today. Today I just wanted to say a little bit about emotional thinking and some of the kind of challenges and issues that go with that. Now, certainly, the news over the past few days, as I record this, has been all about Dominic Cummings, the trips he's supposed to have taken, whether he broke the rules, them and us, all those kind of things. It's still in the media, it's on the telly, it's in the news, on social media, and certainly a lot of issues around people's opinions that come down to emotional thinking and being emotionally invested, on one side or the other. And with emotional thinking, what you tend to get, and certainly it's true in this case, and obviously I don't know when you watch this what the latest news will be, but certainly it's true that everything becomes very black and white. So in this regard, either you're right or you're wrong, and a lot of nastiness can go on with that, a lot of anger, frustration, people saying horrible stuff about other people, people refusing to be people's friends, cutting them off, blocking them, trying to distract from it, saying that invalidating their opinions because they don't agree with them, which as an aside is a weird form of democracy that says let's all have a freedom of speech as long as you agree with me. That's not what I'm here to talk about, but it's one to think about. But what happens with emotional thinking is, like I say, it all becomes black and white. There are no shades of grey. There's no possibility that for agreement or compromise or recognising that the other person is entitled to their opinion and that's okay that they don't agree with you. It all becomes, like I say, I'm right, you're wrong, or this is definitely the case, and no other opinions are valid. And the reason I mention that is because there are strong links to mental health issues like depression, anxiety, stress, and so forth. So if we take anxiety, those anxious emotions, those anxious feelings lead to emotional thinking. You start thinking about what might happen. It's either going to be perfect or a disaster. Either has to go brilliantly or it's going to be terrible. You're not going to be able to cope with it. Things are going to go badly in some way. It's going to be awful in some way. Worst case scenarios, catastrophizing, things going wrong, all those kind of thoughts that are driven by the anxiety, emotions and feelings. And people with anxiety will often say, these thoughts aren't rational, they're not logical, yet still I find myself thinking about these things and driving up and ramping up all those anxious thoughts and feelings. By getting stuck in that loop of feeling anxious, thinking the anxious thought leads to thinking more of it, leads to more of the feeling and so on, and it very much creates its own momentum that can lead you feeling worse and worse, unfortunately. So in order to tackle that, there are kind of two aspects to dealing with anxiety and emotional thinking. The first one is you need to be able to have ways to calm down the emotions. The emotions drive the thoughts, which is why you can find that anxious thoughts just go from one thing to another. If one thing is over, if one thing no longer a thing, then that anxiety will lead you to thinking worst case scenarios, catastrophizing about something else, and the whole cycle becomes more and more habitual and just keeps kind of being fueled by the anxious emotions. So you need to have ways to calm that down, whether using breathing techniques, meditation, my hypnosis downloads, all those things. And certainly we know from research that hypnosis and hypnotherapy is a great option in terms of reducing anxiety symptoms. If you don't calm the anxious emotions down, those thoughts, those feelings tend to just continue. And not only that, but it's very difficult to break out of that cycle. It's very difficult to think logically and rationally and to be in control of your thoughts and feelings if you're being swamped by all that anxiety. Combined with that are ways to deal with the kind of emotional thinking aspect of it. So you want to have ways to interrupt those ways of thinking, to direct it. And certainly, part of this kind of stuff, and part in general life, whether you're looking at external stuff, like what's going on in politics and how the governments handle stuff, and what Dominic Cummings did or didn't do, what other people say and think, and certainly in terms of orchestrating your own thoughts, you want to have ways where you can challenge that stuff and interrupt that stuff and just hold those thoughts up almost and say, is this actually a thing, or is it only a thing because I think it's a thing and I've invested in it? So having ways to challenge those things, dispute thoughts if necessary, are really useful. So questions like is what I'm thinking here, is what I'm perceiving, is that a fact or is it just perception? Is there evidence for this? How true do I think this is? Could I be wrong? Are there other perspectives? And certainly being open, I think, to the possibility that the stuff you're thinking, whether it's your opinions, whether it's what you think about something going on, being open to the fact that other people might have alternative views. there might be other things that might happen in the future. Things might go badly, they might also go well. They might just be okay. There are certainly lots of options in that way. What evidence is there that that person's going to think badly of you, or that thing you're not going to be able to deal with it? You want to be able to challenge those things, to sort the fact, to be able to think logically, to dispute it, to look at other perspectives, to hold it up and go, is this actually a thing? Or, like I say, is it just a perception? Is it just an anxious thought? Is it just something that's popped in my head and I found myself thinking about it? Is it fact? Is it perception? Would other people be thinking this? Would a scientist think this? Would a doctor think this? Would my best friend be thinking in this way? Would someone else in this situation be having these kind of thoughts about, in that anxious way, about the stuff that's going on or that might be going on? But certainly combined with that, you want to be able to calm, like I say, the emotions down so that you can think clearly, so that you can hold these thoughts up and dispute them or consider them. Yeah, they may well be valid. You may stick to those things. But there are things you can do about those things, even if you think something might not go well. There are things you are in control of, the kind of techniques used, the strategies, your mindset, but very much, and I think, like I say, that the current Dominic Cummings thing has shown this, very much emotional thinking is black and white. You're either right or you're wrong, but certainly in most areas of life there are shades of grey, and the more you can calm those emotions using things like hypnosis, use the free downloads on my site for if you want a starter, and having techniques where you can hold your thoughts up, interrupt them, redirect them, and be in control of the kind of stuff that's going on inside of your head. Certainly I think the happier you're going to be, the more well-being you'll experience, the less anxiety you'll experience, and the more mentally healthy you're going to enjoy life. So please do, take action on those things, consider those things, put things in place around that, and I wish you all the very best, and I will speak to you very soon. You take care now.